Welcome to the Daily Energize Podcast, where you'll get a jolt of energy and a quick tip to help you conquer your day. Now here's your host, the Prince of Positivity himself, Spencer Jones.
What's happening, Energizer? It is I, the Prince of Positivity here, aka Spencer Jones, joining you in this episode. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining me here today and for allowing me to be part of your journey. Having you in my life and my journey, it is a special treat, and I am extremely, extremely grateful. So thank you so much for spending some time and your energy joining me and being part of our Energizer family. It means more, so much more than you know. So thank you so much. Well, today's episode is what I talked a little bit about yesterday, but we're digging in a little bit deeper with it. And that is being present. Being present. So recently I was at a men's retreat, and I'm enjoying the men's retreat, savoring it, having some amazing conversations. But I noticed, not all conversations, but some of them, that I wasn't being as present. Right? I wasn't there in the moment having that conversation with someone. I was thinking about what else was coming up that weekend, or other things I needed to do, or maybe I was planning for my talks. There's just, a variety of things going through my head, and I noticed my mind drifting at times. And I was able to bring it back to the moment and be present at times. Other times, not so much. I didn't catch it. And so I was flying home after the men's retreat, and I was watching the Mr. Rogers movie, the one with Tom Hanks. And so it's telling the whole storyline. And I'm a huge Mr. Rogers fan. If you didn't know that, I love, love, love Mr. Rogers. He's such an amazing man, and he did some incredible things. So I was watching that movie, and it struck me from watching that movie. It reminded me of the books, the biography I read about him, of how he was present in that conversation. I believe it was in the movie, he said, "No, the most important thing to me is to talk to you right now." And I remember reading that in the biography, and I'm like, that's incredible. The most important thing to me right here and now is to talk with you. To be here with you right here and now. Holy crap. How amazing would that be to have somebody be with you and just be present with you? They're not trying to think of ways to respond. They're not trying to think of what they need to get at the grocery store or what's for dinner. No. They're here spending time with you. Wow. I mean, time is such a precious commodity, and that's such an amazing thing. We keep trying to think of how we can go faster and do more things. But what if we did less things and we could just be present? So you know what? When I reflect on that men's retreat, I'm not going to say I failed, but I definitely could have done better. So I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm not going to belittle myself because I should have known better. I'm okay. I mean, I could do it really easily, but I choose not to. Instead, I'm choosing, okay, I didn't do as well as I could have. How can I do better in the future? Now that I'm even more aware that I wasn't as present, after watching that movie, it reminded me of being present in the moment, hence I reflect on the weekend. And I went, all right, well, how can I be present in the future conversations? And I get it. Sometimes we can't always just be present. We need to be looking ahead, thinking backwards, or I understand it. But how amazing would it be if we could be present more often? If we could be present and in the moment the majority of the time, as opposed to the minority of the time. What would that do for you? What would that do for your life? What would that do to your relationships, your friendships? If you were there being present, fully engaged in the moment with that other person, or even just by yourself. You're going for a walk. Are you present in that walk? Are you thinking about this, that, and the other thing? I'm guilty of it, right? I'm just as guilty as I bet you are, if not worse. Let's come and celebrate the moment and savor it. When we have a conversation today, when you have a conversation today, be present in it. Listen to understand, and you can respond as needed, but be present. Give them your full attention. The most important thing for us is whatever's happening right then and there. Let's start churning that around in our lives and see the changes and differences it can make. Because the little bit I've done it, and the more often I've done it, the amazing relationships and friendships, how everything gets deeper and feel more connected, and I feel more fulfilled. You think you'd feel more drained and not caught up. It's not the case. It's not the case. So I invite you to give it a try. Join me in being present today. And then see what works and see what you can continue tomorrow. Knowing that you're not going to be there all the time, and that's okay. We need to look back and we need to look forward. But let's try living the majority of the time being present. All right, that's all I got. Thank you for hopping in, joining me in this episode of the Daily Energize. Keep being you, keep shining bright. And until next time, I will catch you later.